I got a text that looked innocent enough at first. Have an amazing time with the girls. Wish you were here. It came with a photo cocktail glasses, soft hotel lighting, and in the corner of the frame, a man's wristwatch resting on the nightstand. My stomach didn't drop immediately. It froze. There's a difference. It was the kind of freeze where your instincts recognize danger before your mind does. I zoomed in on the picture. Silver band. Large dial. Definitely not hers. My girlfriend Emma had gone on a girls' weekend to celebrate her friend's engagement. I trusted her completely, or at least, I thought I did. But something about that photo screamed wrong. I stared at the message, thumb hovering over the keyboard. My pulse was steady, but my thoughts were anything but. A dozen excuses flashed through my head. Maybe it was the hotel's watch. Maybe she borrowed it for the picture. Maybe I was losing it. Then, I remembered she'd sent that photo from room 214 of the downtown Marriott. I knew because I'd paid for it. I'd helped her book the trip when she said she needed a break from work stress. That detail stung like salt. I took a breath, then typed back, "Looks fun. I am here." I didn't mean it as a joke. I meant it literally, because I was. I'd been planning to surprise her with dinner at the same hotel when she got back, something sweet, spontaneous. But that watch changed everything. Instead of canceling my plan, I adjusted it. I grabbed my jacket, took the elevator down from my own room, and walked toward the hotel bar. My heart thudded in my chest, a steady rhythm that matched the music pulsing through the lobby. The bar was dim, filled with laughter, chatter, and clinking glasses. And then I saw her. Emma sat at a corner table, hair perfectly curled, smile wide and bright. Except the guy sitting beside her wasn't one of her girls. He had his arm draped casually along the back of her chair. His watch catching the light, the same one from the photo. For a second, I just watched. Leaned in closer to him, fingers brushing his sleeve. Every gesture felt like a slow-motion betrayal. Then, before I could talk myself out of it, I walked straight to the bar, ordered a drink, and sat at the table right next to theirs. When she turned and saw me, her face lost all color, her lips parted but no words came out. I raised my glass just slightly. "Hey," I said quietly. "Wish you were here, right?" The color drained from her face completely. The man beside her froze. That's when everything really began to unravel. Emma and I had been together for 3 years. The kind of relationship that looked perfect from the outside travel photos, matching hoodies, and those cheesy good morning texts that make everyone else roll their eyes. We met at a friend's housewarming. She was the kind of woman who could light up a room just by laughing. Confident, magnetic, effortlessly charming. When she smiled at me that night, it felt like gravity had shifted. The first year was everything I'd ever wanted. Constant connection. Shared goals, late-night drives where we'd talk about our future. I thought we were building something real. But somewhere around year 2, things began to shift. Subtle at first. More girls' nights, fewer invitations for me to join. Her phone always face down. That's when I learned that love doesn't disappear, just gets quieter when something's wrong. I tried not to assume the worst. I'd been cheated on once before, and I swore I'd never become paranoid again. So I trusted her. Every time she brushed off my unease with a soft "you worry too much," I believed it. When she came back, she was distant, gentle, but detached, like her heart was still somewhere else. When I asked how it went, she smiled. Productive. That was it. The next day, I found a receipt in her purse for a dinner reservation to People. Candlelit. Same night, she claimed to have been at a networking mixer. I confronted her then, but she laughed it off. It was my boss, Jake. Stop being jealous. I let it go, because that's what trust does. It blinds you in the name of love. So when she said she was heading on a girls' weekend this time, I didn't question it. She'd earned that trust back. Or so I thought. I even helped her pack. She kissed me goodbye like nothing was wrong. The moment she walked out that door, I told myself I was lucky, that we'd made it through the rough patch. And then came that photo. That stupid, careless photo. When I saw that man's watch, all those quiet doubts came crashing back at once. My heart didn't just break. It rearranged itself into something colder. As I sat there in that hotel bar, just a few feet away from her, I realized something else. She didn't even look guilty yet. She was still smiling, unaware her perfect lie was about to collapse. My drink trembled slightly in my hand. The The bartender asked if I wanted another round. I nodded, never taking my eyes off her, because I wasn't leaving until she saw me, until she knew I'd seen everything. And when our eyes finally met across that room, I could see at the exact moment she realized her game was over. Emma's eyes locked on mine, and for a full second, the world stopped. Her smile vanished, like someone had flipped a switch. The man beside her glanced at me, confused, then back at her. I lifted my glass and gave her the faintest nod, like a silent greeting. Her lips parted, but nothing came out. She fumbled for her phone under the table, probably to text me maybe something like "this isn't what it looks like." Too late for that. I turned back to the bartender and asked for the bill, pretending to be calm. Inside, my heart was pounding so loud I could feel it in my teeth. Every second felt stretched thin, like the universe was holding its breath. She finally stood up, her chair scraping against the floor. "Mark," she said softly, like saying my name might rewind time. I swiveled toward her slowly. "Damn. Having an amazing time with the girls." The guy blinked. "Wait, this is your boyfriend?" His tone had the awkwardness of someone caught mid-lie. Emma's face flushed. "I can explain," she whispered. "Can you?" I leaned back, crossing my arms, because the watch in that picture looked an awful lot like his. Her mouth opened, closed. She was searching for words that didn't exist. Around us, a few nearby tables had gone quiet. The sound of glasses clinking suddenly seemed very far away. "Mark, please," she said, voice trembling. "Can we talk somewhere private?" I stared at her for a long moment, then nodded toward the hallway by the elevators. "Sure." We walked out together. She moved fast, her heels tapping nervously against the tile. I could see her trying to compose herself, twisting her hair, steadying her breathing. When we reached a quiet corner near the elevators, she finally turned to me. "Not what you think." "That's the oldest sentence in the book," I said. Her eyes flashed with frustration. "It's true. We were just having drinks." "He's a friend, Emma. I saw how you looked at him." She froze. Her silence said more than her excuses ever could. I took out my phone, opened her text again, and held it up. "You sent me this, remember? Wish you were here." "Well, congrats." "I am." Her hands shook slightly. "You shouldn't have come," she whispered. That sentence told me everything. She wasn't sorry she'd done it. She was sorry she'd been caught. "I didn't come to fight," I said. "I came to see the truth for myself." She looked away, biting her lip. "You're overreacting." Something in me snapped. I laughed quietly, bitterly. Overreacting? To being lied to in HD? The elevator dinged behind us, doors sliding open. She flinched at the sound. I took a step back, my voice calm again. "You said you wanted space, right? Congratulations, you've got all of it." And with that, I turned toward the bar again, because I wasn't finished just yet. I walked back into the bar, my pulse steady now. The shock was good and only. Clarity remained. The guy, still sitting at the table, looked uneasy. He glanced toward the hallway, then back at his drink like he suddenly regretted every choice that brought him there. I sat down at the bar again, close enough to hear the faint murmur of people whispering. A few had already figured out what was going on. Nothing spreads faster than drama in a quiet hotel lounge. Moments later, Emma returned. Her face was pale, her smile forced. She tried to act casual, sitting beside the guy as if nothing had happened. But her hands gave her a wave. They wouldn't stop shaking. The bartender set my drink down. "Everything good, man?" he asked softly. I gave a half smile, getting there. Emma's voice wavered as she leaned toward the man. "Let's just go," she whispered. But I spoke before she could move. "No need to rush off, Mim. I'd actually love to meet your friend." The guy looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. "Look, man, I didn't know you didn't know she had a boyfriend," I interrupted. "Or you didn't know I'd find out." Emma stood abruptly. "Mark, stop. You're embarrassing yourself." That line hit me like static because it was exactly what cheaters say when the truth corners them. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't make a scene. I just pulled out my phone and placed it on the bar. The screen lit up with her message, the photo, the caption, everything. "This was what you sent me," I said quietly. "That's his watch, right?" The bartender glanced at it, eyebrows lifting. A few people turned to look. Emma's face turned crimson. "Please," she hissed, "don't do this here." I nodded slowly. "You're right, I shouldn't." Then I stood up, slid a few bills onto the counter, and looked her dead in the eyes. "You already did it here." For a long second, no one spoke. The man shifted uncomfortably, grabbed his jacket, muttered something about needing air. He left without another word. Emma looked at me, eyes glassy. "You think this makes you better?" she whispered. "You humiliated me." I almost laughed. "You did that yourself, Emma." I just stopped pretending. She tried to reach for my arm, but I stepped back. "You can tell your friends it was a misunderstanding," I said. "But we both know it wasn't." I left the bar before she could reply. The lobby lights felt colder now, the kind that expose everything you'd rather keep hidden. When I reached the elevator, I looked back once. She was still standing there, frozen, watching me leave. And for the first time since I got that text, I didn't feel anger. I just felt done. But I didn't realize until later, Emma wasn't the type to accept being exposed quietly. I didn't sleep that night. Even after leaving the hotel, my mind replayed everything in loops: the text, the photo, her face when she saw me. Each memory hit like static. I checked my phone around 3 a.m., 7 missed calls from Emma, 4 voicemails, and 1 text. "Please just talk to me. You don't understand what you saw." The irony made me laugh. I understood perfectly. By morning, the silence felt heavier than anger. I made coffee, opened my curtains, and stared at the skyline like it might give me answers. It didn't. Just another gray day. Around noon, my phone buzzed again, this time from an unknown number. "You don't know the full story," the message said. No name, but I didn't need one. I blocked it without replying. A few hours later, I got a call from a mutual friend, Jenna. She sounded hesitant. "Hey, Emma's saying you ambushed her." "That you followed her there?" I exhaled slowly. "Followed her?" "Jenna, I was staying at the same hotel." "I know," she said quickly. "I just thought you should know what she's telling people." It stung, not because I cared about the rumors, but because it showed how far she'd go to rewrite the story. That night her mom called. I hadn't expected that. "Mark, sweetheart," she said softly, "Emma told us about what happened. I just wanted to hear your side, so I told her everything. The text, the photo, the watch, the bar." She went quiet. I could hear her sigh through the line. "She always thinks she can talk her way out of things," she murmured. "She doesn't have to," I said. "Not with me. It's done." Her voice cracked. "I'm sorry, Mark. You didn't deserve that." The next few days blurred together. I focused on work, avoided social media, and ignored every call with her name on it. But the silence didn't last. By the weekend, Emma showed up outside my apartment. She stood by her car, arms crossed, tears streaking her cheeks. "Please, just 5 minutes," she said when I opened the door. I didn't move. "Why?" "So you can explain how that wasn't your watch." "It wasn't like that," she whispered. "He's just someone I met through work. We got too close. I made a mistake." I watched her for a moment, Treely looked at her. She wasn't lying this time. But she also wasn't sorry for the right reason. "You didn't make a mistake," I said quietly. "You made a choice." She broke down then, sobbing into her hands. But I didn't reach for her. Not this time. "Send someone for my things," she said between tears. I nodded. "Do that." As she left, I thought that was the end of it. But 2 days later, a video started circulating among our mutual friends, taken by someone at the hotel bar that night. It showed everything. And suddenly, the story wasn't hers anymore. The video spread faster than I ever expected. A few mutual friends posted about hotel drama before I even saw the clip. Someone in the bar had caught everything from me walking in to Emma's face when she realized she'd been caught. I hadn't shared it, hadn't even spoken about it. But the internet has a way of turning private pain into public spectacle. And this time, I didn't have to defend myself. Truth did it for me. My phone lit up for days, messages, screenshots, people asking if it was really me. I didn't respond to most of them. There was nothing to say. Eventually, Emma deactivated her socials. The same friends who'd believed her version of the story started sending me apology texts. Didn't know the whole truth. She really did that. I didn't hold grudges. I just let it all go. Her mom called once more. "She's staying with her sister for a bit," she said quietly. "She's embarrassed and heartbroken. Maybe now she'll finally learn what honesty costs." I didn't say anything for a moment. Then I asked, "Is she okay?" "She will be," her mom said. "You both will." It was strange hearing compassion instead of anger. but maybe that's what closure sounds like. Over the next few weeks, I rebuilt the pieces she'd chipped away. Small things, getting back into my routine, going for morning runs again, reconnecting with people I'd isolated from while trying to fix us. Every day felt like I was taking back something she'd quietly stolen. One night, while cleaning, I found an old photo of us. We were at the lake laughing, wet hair from swimming, no lies between us yet. I didn't feel anger anymore, just distance, like looking at two strangers who almost made it. I didn't delete the photo. I didn't need to. It's just proof that people can change and not always for the better. A month later, I ran into the bartender from that night. He recognized me instantly. "Hey man," he said, half smiling. "You handled that whole thing better than most would've." I shrugged. Didn't feel like it at the time. He nodded slowly. Deli walked away. That's power. That line stuck with me. I used to think closure meant getting an apology, but now I understand it's just the moment you stop needing one. Emma never reached out again after that night outside my apartment, and I never tried to fill the silence she left. Some endings don't need noise, they just need acceptance. Sometimes the truth doesn't set you free immediately. It burns first. But once the ashes settle, you finally see what peace looks like without pretending. And in that quiet, I realized something simple. You can't lose someone who was never really there. If you've made it this far, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.